Hello and welcome to this video diary where I'll be telling you a bit about what's going on in the Draco workshop. Today it is October the 4th, Saturday 2025. Let's get started. Here I'm working with the trusty old router to make some mahogany profiles that will be used in the Flyfish project. Over here we have a Volvo Penta V8 V8 or AQ211 as it's called, which is destined for the Suntop that we can see here. We can have a look at the front of the engine and see what's going on. I have removed the old V-belt drive system and installed Poly-V drive system instead. The system comes from an Astrovan, Chevrolet Astrovan, the brackets for the alternator and the power steering pump, and also where we have the raw water pump was the compressor for the air condition system. I've made a new bracket for the heat exchanger and some stainless steel pipes for the coolant. This project is quite low on the list, but now and then I find an hour or two to do some work on this. Another project that is low on the list is this one, the 1800 Daycab. It is in need of a complete overhaul. Everything has to be redone. I have removed the engine and outdrive and also the paint. It was not in its original gel coat, it was painted. So beneath the rub rail I have removed the paint. There's still something left here. And I have started to wet sand the original gel coat. You can see on the inside the engine is away. So yes, this needs a complete overhaul. What also needs a complete overhaul is this, and this is on the top of the list. This is the Flyfish project that I've been working on since 2006. That's a long time, but a complete overhaul where everything has to be made from scratch, that just takes time. One thing I would like to show you is the corner profiles. Originally, Draco boats from the 70s, they had a plastic profile in the corner that had a tendency to crimp, and that meant that over time, down here, there will be a gap of up to a centimeter, maybe even more. And this boat was also suffering from that issue. So I was thinking a lot what to do about it. So I came up with this idea to make stainless steel profiles that could be attached in the corner to cover the gap between the front and the side windows. But let's go up and have a look at what is going on inside, because that's where most of the work is being done these days. Sorry about the mess. I did not clean up anything before I decided to make this video. But we can see here that everything has been removed and starting from scratch again. So first of all, a new floor has been installed, and we can see some of the stringers here. They have all been replaced. The old ones were quite rotten. I believe this boat has been deep in the water some time, filled with water damage at least. So there's not really anything of the structure underneath that was worth anything. So everything was removed, and I installed new stringers. That's some time ago now. But we can see that new artificial leather, I think we can call it, has been glued onto the sides and also in the front and underneath the deck and along the edge and in the front. I have installed panels that makes it much easier to make it look nice. On the inside of the corner there is a stainless steel profile that can be used for covering cables, because there will be some cables going to the flybridge because of the steering position. So that will be both in each corner and in the front. Here there is right now there's a rod for holding the deck in position, but there will be a stainless steel profile covering that, and that also makes some space for cables. Here we can see how it looks on the inside, how the stainless steel profile that we saw on the outside is attached. On the inner side of the profile I have welded some small threaded studs, so on the inside we can attach the bracket with nuts and also some tiny brackets that fits into the corner. The ceiling has been redone with panels instead of just gluing the artificial leather directly onto the fiberglass. That makes it much easier, since the panel can be prepared down on the table and then installed with some tiny screws. On this side the artificial leather is actually glued onto the fiberglass, but since the area is quite small over here, it was okay to work with. If this area had to be glued, the artificial leather had to be glued, it would be a bit more of a job. So, but I figured that over here it was okay to do so. Along the edges I've made mahogany profiles to make it look nice, and the aforementioned trusty old router has done a terrific job here. That would be quite impossible to do without it, I think. Over here we can see how the panel is made, the side panels. It is a plywood plate and a mahogany profile that has been made with the router. Here we have some of the smaller panels that will be installed in the front, above the front windows, and we can see how they look on the rear side. Again, a plywood plate and some brackets for holding the whole thing together, and the mahogany profile and an aluminium profile at the end. If we take a look in the engine bay, it is quite empty now. The transom, the inner transom, has been installed, but only temporary, for checking how it looks and how to place bits and pieces. There is a steering cylinder here, but I will not be using that one since it doesn't really fit as well as I had hoped for. So that there I'll have to find another one. We can see that the rear side of the cabin is missing. There is just one enormous gap, enormous hole here. Originally this was made out of wood plates and brackets and so on, and then bolted onto to the fiberglass. I will do something similar, but maybe use some stainless steel profiles here and there to make it look nice. I will use the original sliding door that was there from the beginning. If we take a look around in the shop, we can see down here, under the silver cover, we have the 1700 topless with the Volvo B30 engine. This boat has been sitting for 3 years now, I think. So yeah, it's just collecting dust here, but in the near future it will be commissioned, I think it's called, so we can take a trip on the lake again. Under the red cover was the Suntop that has the V8 standing and waiting for it. Let's go down again and have a look. While we are standing on the ladder, we can just take a look at the windows. They have been redone a bit. First of all, the aluminium profiles have been painted, powder coated, since the original, how can I say, the covering, anodizing they had was fainted. It was not really black, not that black anymore as it was from the beginning. So I decided to powder coat them, since a company I contacted said that they would not anodize old aluminium. So well, okay, then let's paint it instead. I think that looks fine. I've also redone the arrangement of the windows, because there were some sliding windows that could be opened, but I could see that the small profiles and lists and so on used for that system, they were old and miserable, so they could not be used anymore, and to find new lists, that would be impossible. So instead, it can be seen there's a tiny gap in the close to the front where there will be a window that can be opened. They'll be on two hinges instead, because a sliding function will be impossible to make work great again. So that's why this has been redone. So there is one large window instead, and then one tiny window that can be opened. Going down and just having a short look at the engine standing here. This is not for the Flyfish, it is for the Daycab, and it is a Volkswagen 2.4 6-cylinder turbodiesel engine. Yeah, it needs something that looks like an overhaul. It is quite a funny story, this engine and boat, because it has been like that from the factory, from the Draco factory, and it was a guy in Norway that had this idea that Volkswagen engines should be used for boats. So he collaborated with the Draco boat factory, and they built 5 boats where they had a Volkswagen LT diesel engine installed. They were connected to OMC, an OMC stern drive, and it was an idea that he had that maybe OMC should start collaborating with Volkswagen to have diesel in the stern drive lineup. But OMC were not really interested, so it just came to an end there. But 5 boats were built, and this is one of them. This particular boat was actually meant for scrapping, but I managed to get my hands on it, and here it is. I thought it was a funny story, so I think it was a shame to let it go to the scrap yard. Let's have a look at another engine. It is a Mercedes OM603 turbodiesel, and 2 of these will go into the Flyfish project. It is a 147 horsepower engine, and there will then be 2 of them, but I know it will not be a rocket with these 2 engines, but I believe it's okay. Originally the boat had 2 engines with 120 horsepower, so 2 engines with 147 diesel horsepower instead of 120 gasoline horsepower. I think that'll do fine. If we look on the internet under Mercedes OM603 and 606, people are tuning and turbocharging and modifying them to a lot of horsepower, but that is not the plan for this one. I'll just keep it stock, and I believe that is okay. This particular engine I have tested in a Draco 17 that I had some years ago, where I just slammed the whole thing together and installed it together with a Volvo 280 stern drive, just to see how does this boat, how does this engine perform in a boat. Does my homemade cooling system work, and all that stuff. And it worked fine, and the 1700 was really quick. So I believe that 2 of these in the 2500 Flyfish, that'll be just fine. Last but not least, here we have the 2300 Suntop. It is a boat that I purchased approximately 5 years ago, 6 years ago it is. Time flies. It has a Mercruiser 470 engine in it, 3.7 liter, 4 cylinders. And when I bought this boat, I figured that that engine may be just a little too small for this boat, but it actually does a decent job. So my plans, I did have some plans when I bought it that there should maybe be a Mercedes turbodiesel engine in this boat, or maybe a V8 or whatever. That is not going to happen, I think, because this boat does a mighty fine job. This engine does a mighty fine job in this boat. I keep it on the trailer, and that is it is okay to trailer a boat of this size. The boat weighs approximately 1.8 metric ton, and it is okay when launching the boat and pulling it out again, doing that single-handed. You get used to it and know what to do. Then it's fine to have this as a trailer boat, and it's also nice to think of that it is sitting here in the workshop, nice and safe when it is bad weather outside. So that was it for today. See you next time.